Greetings, fellow humans. You know me as Iceman Caesar, and this is what's up in the world today. Got a big advisory across the NHL today. You know what that means? Playoff time, baby. Whiteout. Go, Jets, go. Finally here. It's been an absolutely great season, one of the best ever, and we're finally here in the playoffs. Starts tonight. I can't wait. I'm just so excited. You know, like anytime the Jets are able to get in is a great, great moment. But the fact that we're coming in as one of the most dominant teams in the league this year, couldn't be happier, couldn't be more excited. So just kind of wanted to make a video, break down a little bit, talk about the Jets a little bit, their season, and kind of how things are looking going into the playoffs. So get right into it. Like I say, Jets finished with I think the second overall in the league. You know, like best season in our franchise, the first time or this time. You know, it's just been, we have such a balanced attack. We got young players, we got veterans. You know, we got balanced offensive scoring. We got three balanced lines on defense, three balanced defensive pairings. That is so huge. We have a great goaltender. We have a team that comes together to play. It's just, everything is aligned. All the stars are aligned for the Jets to make a really long playoff run this year. You know, they just gotta keep doing what they did to bring them to the dance. So unfortunately, we're going to be going in with no Enstrom, Hendricks, or Kulikov, but kind of already knew that coming in. We've already had a lot of time without them. But we're also coming in on a 5-game winning streak, so definitely want to be playing your best hockey as the regular season winds down, coming into the playoffs. Jets are doing that, so it's exactly what you want to see. And our first round matchup is against the Wild. You know, they're a really tough team, but it's probably one of the better matchups we could have because we match up really well against Minnesota. I think we went 2 or 3-1 against them this season. And there's actually a pretty more of a rivalry than you'd think between Minnesota and Winnipeg. With the close proximity of the two cities, it's there's more of a rivalry than you'd think. So I think it's going to be a really good, tough, physical series, but one the Jets should be able to win. Like I say, as long as they do everything that brought them here in the regular season. And there is a change from regular season to the postseason, but some things, the meat and potatoes got to stay the same. You got to do those little things that you did during the regular season that allowed you to get into the position that you are now. So the thing about the Wild is, I think we match up good against them. I think the Jets are in the driver's seat coming into the series. However, as far as playoff experience goes, that edge definitely goes to Minnesota because they have almost all their guys have at least a little bit of experience, but a lot of them, a good chunk of them have significant playoff experience, whereas the Jets, only a handful have experience, and then I think pretty much most of our team is yet to experience the playoffs. So when it comes to that, definitely the edge goes to Minnesota. And playoff experience is one of those things where it could be a big impact, and it could really have no impact because it's just one of those. Experience, just kind of, you've been in the moment before, you know what to expect, that you kind of know what the consequences are if you do things, being in the moment just allows you to prepare more, but at the same time, sometimes you can over prepare. You have too much information, you're thinking too much about what happened in your previous playoff games, and then so you kind of get into your own head, and you start to not use instinct as much, and that's really where that's the thing about playoffs is, using your instinct, your gut, listening to your gut, and it's like, because there's no real safety net. If you lose 4 games, that's it, season's over. So there's not another series, in a few months, or there's not another game. It's like you gotta focus now. And so playoff experience can either help or hurt. But the thing about the Jets is, a guy like Laine, he doesn't have NHL playoff experience, but he has played in and won big games before. So I'm not saying that's the same thing as the NHL playoffs, but the more big games you play in, the more ready you can be for getting into an opportunity like NHL playoffs. And I think a guy like Laine is going to be. I think he's going to thrive in the NHL playoff experience. I don't think it'll take him long to kind of find his legs and to find his game in the playoffs. So it's even though the Jets don't have playoff experience, I think that they have the players that can kind of fight through that and have success despite not having the playoff experience. And now, the thing about playoff experience is only way to get it is to win some games and to go far in the playoffs. So, for the Jets to be able to, and all the players in Minnesota, they all started with no playoff experience, and they had to, be on teams that won and, grind away and do their jobs throughout the season, the playoffs to get there. So, the Jets are starting. A lot of the Jets are starting with no playoff experience, but the only way to get experience is to win some games. So I think that as long as the Jets just kind of need to put the playoff experience edge out of their heads and just get in there and play the game that brought you to this point. And so one of the things that I kind of noticed the last few years about the Jets, with I play a lot of Sports Select, and trying to get a leg up on the games. I try to look at stats and try to find the key stats that might help me decide if one team's going to win over the other. And because of that, one thing I noticed before this year, the Jets were always near the bottom and always really struggled with face-off percentage. And before this year, we've always struggled in the regular season. We had a playoff run in this current, and since the Jets have been back, but we got swept in 4 games, so getting into the playoffs is a great accomplishment, but then we didn't really get to perform the way we wanted to. So it's that's the thing. So I really noticed that obviously winning face-offs, controlling the puck is a huge part of hockey. So I just kind of identified that as the area that the Jets really needed to improve on if they were going to take a step forward and have a really great run in the regular season and then turn that into a playoff run. But so before this year, always struggling, always near the bottom. But however, this year, I noticed almost right off the bat they were dominating, and for a good chunk of time they were number 1 in face-off percentage. And this year we've had the best season of our franchise, and everything everything is going good. And I really, and when I look at the stat, the big jump in face-off percentage, I really kind of think that is one of the biggest keys for the Jets as far as what they need to focus on and what they can't allow to slack. And so I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I mean, you win face-offs, you control the puck, you keep the puck away from the other team, and you have more scoring chances. I mean, I'm not telling anybody things that I'm not reinventing the wheel here. However, some teams' success are more tied to winning face-offs, and some teams are built to where they can, obviously you want to win a face-off, but some teams are built to where they can still play at a high level even if they're not dominating face-off percentage. They have the balance on the team to reacquire the puck if they lose the face-off, or just even if they lose the face-off, they've set up so where the other team's not getting good scoring chances. But some teams are tied into you need to control the puck. You don't have the team built to where you can reacquire the puck easily, or you don't have the defensive systems in place to really make those scoring chances difficult for the other team. So winning the face-offs and keeping that face-off percentage in your favor is one of the key things to winning. And I think the Jets are one of those teams. In the regular, when the switch comes from regular season to playoffs, you're always wondering, hey, what do I, where do you focus your improvements and things like that. And I just think the Jets really need to just buckle down and focus on winning their face-offs. Our face-off assassins need to be on their mark. And in the first series of Minnesota and through the whole playoffs. And I think if the Jets are going to get, it's not every dominant regular season team, has a good playoff run, as we've clearly seen, last year with Chicago and Nashville upsetting them. So it's just because you dominate in the regular season doesn't mean it's going to transfer into playoffs. You have to, and then it's usually when a really good team gets beat, just some area that they were doing really well, falls off. They allowed it to slack, or they allowed the other team to improve it on them. And I think that for the Jets, it's going to be if they get surprised and bounced out, it's going to be because they're losing face-offs and they allowed their face-off percentage to dip and to get below Minnesota's. For me is if the Jets focus and win their face-offs and dominate the face-off percentage, I think that we will we'll get through the first round, and then it's just that's gonna be the key through every round. Dominating the face-off circles and making sure that if the face-off percentage is in our favor. Obviously, you're not winning every face-off, but you want to make sure that you win more than you lose. And if you lose one, you don't want to lose. If you lose one, you don't want to make sure you don't lose the next one. So for the Jets, I think as long as they keep their face-offs, keep their performance in the face-off circle solid, I think we won't get surprised and upset. But if it does happen, I think it's going to happen in the face-off circle. And so, but I mean, like I said, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. It's you got to win. If you win face-offs, you control the puck, you create scoring chances, you keep the puck away from the other team. So, but I think for the Jets, that's really one of the really important areas that they need to focus on. And and so this year we've seen a really big change in our goaltending, and obviously we have a really great goaltender in Hellebuck. But I really believe that the face-off our improvement in face-off percentage has just gone such a long way into helping our goaltending improve, because it's just common sense. If you win your face-offs, you keep the puck, and there's less scoring chances happening on your goalie, and you're able to set up. You're able to control the game. You're pressing the offensive attack, or you're kind of able to settle into defense. I really believe that our improvement in the face-off percentage has allowed our goalies to be able to use their skill and not have to try and jump all over the net and try and make up for defensive lapses or errors. It's like we just built such a solid team, and and the improvement has come in the face-off circle, and it's just it goes such a long way to helping our goalies. And obviously your goalie is like the most important part of your defense. He's got to be the one that's your defense in front of you can only do so much. The guys are going to get scoring chances, and the better positions you can put your goalie in, the more success you're going to have. So that's kind of, if we just keep our face-off percentage dominant the way it has been the regular season, I think we're just going to put Hellebuck in a position to keep winning games for us. And he did it to the tune of 44 wins in the regular season. So, if we just do our part in front of him, Hellebuck's going to do his part in the net. So, the more keeping that face-off percentage up is going to really help our goaltenders. And that's the thing for the Jets. Balance balance is the key when it comes to success for overall success. But when it comes to success in the face-off circle, the key is dominance. We have to dominate the face-off percentage, and if we do that, I think we're rolling for a long playoff run. And talking about balance, just being able to put out three solid defensive pairings that you don't have to worry about. That each set can do their job and do what they need to do. It just goes so far in helping mentally prepare in other areas, knowing that you don't have to worry about this, you can just focus on this. And you can have, and then when you have that, you can create more of an offensive attack, and you can take more chances, because you guys have guys back there that can pick up the slack if you take your chance and it doesn't pay off. So it's just our balance on defense this year is a big part of the success we've had. And that's the thing, having that balance and having so many good players on defense means that we can reduce the time on ice across the board for pretty much every defenseman. And I know for defensemen, a lot of them sometimes thrive on more time on the ice, and the longer they're on there, the better they play. But for wear and tear over the long term of a season and career, I think it's definitely a good thing to be able to kind of reduce that ice time a little bit, and just you don't have to, the guys don't have to extend themselves so much, so they have more energy, you know, in the game and for the next game and for recovery and for training and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, even though, I mean, some guys thrive with more ice time, I really feel it's a good thing we've been able to reduce the ice time by like shave off like a good minute or so from, I think, pretty much every defenseman's ice time. So it's been, you know, it's just having that balanced defensive attack goes such a long way, and it really helps, and, you know, just keeping the team being able to have the energy to do what they need to do and do their part. So like that balance has been so huge. And then, you know, the balance on defense, you know, leads to a balance on offense. Our scoring attack and on offense has just been it's just been so great, and it's been so nice to see, you know, a good defensive effort combined with, you know, great offensive attack. And it's just, and I mean, you know, I thought we were in a good position, you know, at the trade deadline without him making any moves, but man, bringing in a guy like Paul Stastny, playoff experience, veteran, you know, he's just still a great player, and he was a role player, and he was willing to jump and fit right in with our team. And, you know, I have high hopes this playoffs for the EPL, and I don't mean the English Premier League. I'm talking about Ehlers, Pauly, and Laine. So I'm hoping for big things from that line. I really think that they're going to be kind of, you know, leading the charge, and, you know, kind of really hurting Minnesota, and just, you know, like, you know, Minnesota's going to have enough trouble dealing with our top line, but I think this second line is just going to be all over them and really cause a lot of problems for Minnesota. But I mean, even going to our top line, I mean, the captain, like, it's having a guy like Wheeler is just so great. He's had an amazing season. I was able to make a trade for him and late in the fantasy trade deadline. You know, had to give up a huge haul, but, you know, it's worth it to have a guy like Wheeler. It's just been, you know, it's awesome to have one of the best players in the league be a Jets player, and Wheeler certainly was one of the best in the league this year. And you know, and Scheifele, you know, I think this playoff is going to be Scheifele's big time coming out party. Is, you know, like, he is one of the best players in the league, but still kind of, you know, maybe not under the radar, but mid or middle of the radar, I guess. But I think this will be a big coming out party for him. And I mean, Kyle Connors has had his coming out party this year, and it's just, and, you know, and having a guy like Matthew Perreault on the third line. I just think with the balance the Jets have on, you know, defense and then on offense with so many dangerous scorers, I think we're going to give Minnesota just all kinds of problems. But like, you know, as long as they to me, as long as they just keep the face-off percentage solid, and because, you know, that, looking back over the years, it was, you know, they struggled when they struggled, and they dominated when it dominated. So I just, you know, if they can keep their face-off percentages high, you know, with the balanced attack we have, I don't want to get my hopes up, you know, and, you know, like, get too far ahead of myself, but I really feel like this team is built for a long playoff run, and, you know, just having the offensive attack like we do is just, I mean, a good defensive. You have to have a good defense to win championships, but, you know, having a good offensive attack is, you know, it's exciting, it's fun. So I'm just can't wait to watch these guys, you know, perform in the playoffs. And, you know, I'm just so thankful that we have a captain like Blake Wheeler. And, you know, like, before he got the C, I was really just, you know, he's got to get it. He's the man. He's been with us. He's the type of player that will put the team on his back. You know, just Blake Wheeler is our captain. He needs to be. I was so happy when he got the C. And, you know, it's, you know, like, it took a year, but it's, you know, he just established himself as the leader, and, you know, the team kind of became the type of team that a Blake Wheeler player is. You know, he's gritty. He's a balanced player. His attack is balanced. You know, he is the captain. He's the guy that, you know, his confidence and his intensity fuels the room. It fuels the fan base. It's like, I mean, when we need, he's the first guy to stand up, you know, and talk to the media when things need to be talked about, or when it's just, Blake Wheeler is everything you want in a captain. I'm so happy that the team gave him the C. I'm so happy that, he's bought in, he's all in for the Winnipeg Jets, and I'm just so happy that he's our captain, because the captain needs to be the guy where when things are kind of maybe not going right, or you need to dig down, you look to the captain, you see what he's doing, and if the captain is if he's confident, and if he's not rattled, he's not all over the place, if he's focused, you can feed off of that, and that's what Blake Wheeler gives us, and that's why he's such a great captain, and that's why I'm so happy that not only he got the captain, but he's got that team success has come with it, because I knew he was going to be a great captain. I knew he deserved it, but the success of the team is tied to the captain. So I'm just really, really happy that the Jets have had this amazing season, and that Wheeler is the captain for it. And he is absolutely the man that we need, leading the charge into the playoffs. And it's just I can't wait to see what this team does. I'm so excited. And so we got to talk about our goalie. The man, how much pucks could a Hellebuck stop if a Hellebuck could stop pucks? The answer is oodles, because, man, 44 wins. Hopefully it'll be a Vezina season. But, man, it's just... It completes the balance attack. I mean, your most important part of your defense is your goalie. If your goalie can't stop pucks, it doesn't really matter what you do in front of them, because the other team's going to get shots on the goalie. So your goalie is the most important part of your defense, and I'm so happy we have a great one, and we have the defensive players and team, and defensive focus to not let them be bombarded with crazy amount of shots and everything, and we have a good enough defensive attack to not leave them hanging out to dry. But that's the thing about the playoffs. No matter how good your defensive attack is, you need your goalie to probably steal 1 or 2 games, maybe even more. But that's the thing. In Hellebuck, we have a goalie that can and probably will steal some games in the playoffs for us. But when you have a goalie like that, sometimes you can take him for granted, and you take more chances, and you don't put as much focus on defense, and because okay, he's gonna stop it, and that's a really great goalie can bail you out a lot, but you don't want to keep going to that well so many times, because eventually every goalie kind of gets to the point where some pucks start going in. So, but I just think that. I just think we have enough of a commitment to defense and good enough players that we're not going to put him in that position. And I just think that if he does steal some games, it's going to be ones that he'd have to steal no matter what kind of team was in front of him. So I'm just so happy. We couldn't ask for a better team coming into the playoffs. Such a balance on offense, balance on defense, balance on goal. We have everything is coming together for a good long playoff run, and hopefully a Stanley Cup finish. But just to me, trying to find something just to make sure that you do, and to focus on, to try not to get surprised and bounced out, is the face-off percentage. And because I just looking at through the years, to me that's been the key. And if we can keep our face-off percentage dominant, we're having a long run to the playoffs, and God willing, can finish it with a Stanley Cup win. That would be, I don't want to think that far ahead, though. One at a time. Minnesota's going to be hard enough, so we just got to focus on winning our face-offs, doing what we did in the regular season to get us here, and I think it's going to be rock and roll time. So yeah, that kind of brings me to the end of just what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to mention some things about the face-off percentage and talk a little bit about the balance attack of the team, and just how great of a job they've done building this team. I really feel like this is kind of a Houston Astros type thing. I mean, Houston Astros started building their team, and I remember the Sports Illustrated cover. Here's your 2017 World Series champs, and it happened. And I remember. I think it was a few years ago, the Jets, had a really great draft, and really dug into rebuilding. And I don't remember if there was an article, but I remember it was kind of talk these Jets, in 2 or 3 years, they're going to be one of your top teams. They could be your Stanley Cup champs, and here we are, and it's all the build is paid off, and we're here as one of the best teams in the league. We're here as one of the best teams in the playoffs. And we're in the driver's seat to to take ourselves to a long playoff run. Like the tank is full of jet fuel, we're ready to fly and rock and roll, and it's just we couldn't have a better team ready to take us. So this is the season that we've dreamed of. When the team came back, we all hoped that we'd be able to build a team that could be great and dominant, and be known as one of the best teams that could make the playoffs and take us on in a fun, exciting playoff run, and hopefully give us that Stanley Cup that we've been dreaming of and hoping that would come for so long. And it's just this whole thing is what we were all hoping for when Wheeler was given the C and Laine was drafted. It's just this is everything. This season, this run to the playoffs is kind of culminating with everything the Jets fans have wanted and could want out of a team in a season. So I'm really excited, and obviously there's a chance that you could get surprised and bounced, but I did like breaking it down. There's the Jets are in the driver's seat, and if they do what they can do, then they are a champ. Then I know we are a championship team, and you just have to believe it and you have to fight for it. And Daniel Bryan just said it: if you fight for your dreams will fight for you. And if the Jets do what they've done to brought them here, they will. They will. I know that it will bring the Stanley Cup. So I can't wait for tonight. It's gonna be Fortunately, I have to work, so I'm going to be on DVR. Nobody call or text me or anything. Hopefully, I can avoid it. But I'm so excited for tonight, and I cannot wait for this playoff run. And so that finishes my breakdown of the Jets. It was it was great to. It's just great to break it down and realize that, man, we do actually have an amazing team. We've done it the right way. We're not just overhyping everything. This is something that's gonna be this is real. So I'm just excited, and should be a really good playoffs. Not only the Jets Minnesota series, but just gonna kind of quickly go over the other ones. Should be good. Philly versus Pittsburgh. That's gonna be a great series. Philly just went on that crazy run ever since, once when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I think Philly won 10 or 12 games in a row, and Philly's one of those teams. If they get in the playoffs, man, they're tough to get out sometimes. And Pittsburgh are back-to-back champs. They want to be the first team to three-peat in the modern era, and so it's Pittsburgh is one of the toughest outs. But this is going to be a fun, gritty series. I don't think it's going to be Pittsburgh lighting up Philly. I think it's probably going to go a good 6 or 7 games. So I'm looking forward to that one. It should be a good, physical, tough series. LA versus Vegas, man, it's going to be fun to see that atmosphere in Vegas. They've had the best franchise season of all time, and the fan base seems to be just all into it. And the playoffs build relationships, long-term relationships with fans, and so if hopefully Vegas gets to take them fans on a little bit of a playoff run, have some experience here. But it's going to be fun to watch that series. LA is no joke, and Vegas has had their special season, so that's going to be a really, really fun series to watch. New Jersey versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, best team in the league. I don't know. Well, I think they're one of the best teams in the league for sure. They they have a scary scoring attack, and they're a very scary team. But New Jersey, man, Taylor Hall. Wow, for me, that's my pick for the Hart Trophy. He's put that team on his back and took them into the playoffs. And big props to Taylor Hall. Especially being the one of the main players of the Oilers being shipped out. Probably felt like, probably felt like there was piling on, a little bit of a bullseye on him. So for him to be able to just to grind it out and to really elevate himself to this level, to being one of the best, having one of the best scoring seasons of the year, and leading your team to the playoffs, man, huge accomplishment. But the mountain just gets bigger with the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. But it's gonna be interesting to see if New Jersey can steal some of these early games and maybe give themselves a chance in the series. But Tampa Bay is certainly in the driver's seat. But it'll be interesting to see how Jersey's able to respond. Toronto versus Boston, man. Obviously, anytime Toronto and Boston get together, it's a great playoff series to watch. It's Toronto with their young team, they're gonna be a tough out. But Boston, man, have they built a good young team and come really fast too. So this should be a fun, fast, exciting series. Hopefully, it goes 7 games so we get as much enjoyment and excitement out of it as possible. But this is gonna be a series to watch for sure. Columbus versus Washington. Ovechkin still, I've always been a big Ovechkin fan. He's just an exciting player, great goal scorer, so I always wanted to see him win a cup, but just could never, I don't know why, just can never get the teams to over that next level, and, just for whatever reason, they just could never seem to do it. And, this year kind of coming in under the radar, they have a decent team, tough matchup versus Columbus, but, Sometimes those under the radar years are the best ones, and Washington has been surprised and bounced out in their dominant years. But this year when people maybe don't expect much, they might be able to find kind of sneak into some of these series, and before you know it, it's 2-0 or 3-0 in the series. So this is gonna be interesting to see kind of who comes out of this series, and if Washington is able to kind of start to put a run together, or if Columbus is able to put a little run together. Columbus is an underrated hockey town especially during playoffs. When you see, when that team's playing well and they're in the playoffs, that building is rocking. So I'm looking forward to that one. I had no choice but to take 5 Washington players in my playoff pool. So go Washington. Next one, Colorado versus Nashville. Man, another Colorado been a nice surprise this year. Their young team is, Nathan MacKinnon leading the charge, bringing Colorado to the playoffs. Tough matchup against Nashville. But, the thing about Colorado, they're going to have to steal some games in Nashville. Obviously, you have to steal at least one. But, Nashville dominates at home, so they're really, really going to have to, step their game up in Nashville. But it's going to be a tough series for them to win. Nashville's a great team. They're pretty balanced and stacked. So it's Nashville's certainly in the driver's seat in that series. Last series for the first round, San Jose versus Anaheim. Man, I have no idea who's coming out of this one. Pretty even teams. It should be fun to watch because really I have no idea who's gonna win. Like it's. You can make a case for San Jose, you can make a case for Anaheim. It should be a really fun series to watch with how evenly matched they seem to be. So that brings us to the first end of the first round matchups. Just wanted to go over and talk about them. First round of the NHL playoffs. Matt, maybe the best part of playoffs in any sport, all the playoffs in NHL are great. All the playoffs, NBA, MLB, NFL, CFL, stuff like that. It's all the playoffs are great. But man, the first round of the NHL playoffs is just there's lots of teams, and it's just like the energy in the buildings is crazy. It's just one of the most fun periods of time in sports. So I just first round NHL playoffs always my favorite, and starts tonight. Can't wait. Go Jets, go baby. And I just wanted to throw my 2 cents out there for the Hart Trophy, and everybody's talking about Connor McDavid winning it, and yes, he's probably the best player in the NHL. He's had a great season. He's dominant. But if the Hart Trophy is supposed to be for the most valuable player to your team or whatever, then there's no way you can give it to a player on a team that didn't make the playoffs. To me, one of the things that drives me nuts. In sports is players on non-playoff teams winning the MVP. What are you the MVP of? A team that did nothing? That didn't win? Here's the thing. With Connor McDavid, Edmonton didn't make the playoffs. Without Connor McDavid, Edmonton wouldn't make the playoffs. You take a look at New Jersey. With Taylor Hall, New Jersey made the playoffs. Without Taylor Hall, New Jersey's not making the playoffs. They're probably fighting for the first draft pick. So to me, it's like that's who's more valuable to their team. If you're, I don't know if the Hart Trophy. I think the Hart Trophy is supposed to be the most valuable player. If it's just supposed to be the best player in the NHL, then okay, fine. Then I guess that doesn't matter. Maybe it's the most valuable to your team. Then that's got to be Taylor Hall. And for Taylor Hall to have the season he did. under the circumstances, from being the one guy shipped out, and and then not could have easily kind of fallen under the radar and just had a middle of the road career, but kept grinding, elevated his game, and he brought his team to the playoffs. Had one of the best scoring seasons of the year. So for me, Taylor Hall is it should win the Hart Trophy, and it's just, to me, it seems like that's what everything that they wanted the Hart Trophy to be is what Taylor Hall did for his team this year. So, but I mean, if Edmonton was in the playoffs, no doubt about it, Connor McDavid, is the winner. But for me, it's got to go to a team player that was team is in the playoffs. And so when you take that criteria, it's got to be Taylor Hall to me. And then so that brings me to end of talking about the sports part of it in hockey, and so to end it, I just wanted to speak about some serious things, and just gonna remove my glasses for this part of it because this is serious subjects, and I want to make sure I just want to talk about it seriously. But first thing I wanted to do is wanted to say rest in peace to Jonathan Petrie. He was a boy that had a very, very serious disease. I remember seeing his story on TSN, and it just broke my heart, and it just made me wish and pray so badly that this boy could have some relief from everything that he went through in his life and dealing with his disease, and it really he really affected me. After watching that story, I watched it years ago, and I mean, even I'd keep him in my thoughts and in my prayers, and I'd always pray that I was always hoping one day I would see a story come on TV that would say they found something that could help him and take away his pain every day, and that he was maybe not just get him to a point where he could just kind of live some semblance of a normal life as as a kid, and just seeing somebody that had to fight so hard and fight through so much just to live, just to sit around and just to be alive and to think and to feel and have he had to fight so hard and through so much, and to see that really helped me, and it just pushed me through things and pushed me to get through things that I needed something to push me through to get through, and it helped me not make such a big deal out of certain things, and it's just it really bothered me to hear that he passed away, and he wasn't he never got to see that story of finding something, and reading his story in the days after, he's right up into his last day, he was fighting for life. He was trying to find some way to live that normal semblance of life, and trying to just trying to be normal. So it's it's just one of the greatest souls that God ever put on this earth. It's and I know that he certainly earned his angel wings on earth, and it's sad that we have to experience the loss from people like that, but we're just so blessed and so amazing that we were able to be alive at the same time as somebody like Jonathan Petrie, and for him just to see somebody, for us, for most of us, we get life and we don't have to fight for it, and we don't have to. I mean, he just had to fight to put on a T-shirt. I mean, that was excruciating pain. For most of us don't have to fight for that. So it's easy to take life for granted, and not appreciate the things that we should appreciate, and to focus on things we shouldn't focus on. So souls like Jonathan Petrie help people like me put the focus where it needs to be, and just not let these little things that don't matter dominate our days, and so I just really want to send as much strength, love, great good energy, all the positivity I can out to family and friends and everybody that were touched by his story, and just any of the other children or people that are dealing with his health issues that he dealt with. And I just hope that God takes him into their healing hands and just helps them. And Jonathan Petrie, you were a great soul. We'll never forget you, And Godspeed, buddy. We'll see you again. And unfortunately, it's not moving to any easier topic. I just wanted to say, send as much love and strength and prayers and good energy and just absolutely everything God can take from me to help these people get through the awful tragedy that happened to the Humboldt Broncos on Friday. There's no words to talk about, there's no words that you can say to talk about a tragedy like that, and there's nothing. It's just, it's just the worst possible thing that you could think of, and there's just, it's impossible to understand the why in a situation like this, and when these things happen, it's just, you just really wonder where God's role is in it, and it's it's tough. You find yourself getting angry towards God, and it's like it's just it's just, you think it's impossible to understand the why, but you just know. It's just you need to know. It's like, why did this happen? And things like this to me just really show why God wanted to keep free will from us so badly, and why He fought so hard not to allow us to have free will, because that's the thing. On tragedies like this, comes with free will, and it's like God not being able to stop, to jump in and stop. It thinks I really, things like this help me understand why God tried to keep free will from us. You look at the way the accident happened. It's a million to one chance that the bus and the semi were in the same that spot. You'll drive yourself mad and crazy trying to go over the millions and just infinite number of little things that could have changed that moment. But it's just, there's no point, because there's nothing that, unfortunately, there's nothing that could change it. And it's just, we're just stuck. Unfortunately, we're just stuck with dealing with it, and we're dealing with the fallout. And it's when something like this happens, and so many lives, so many young lives are lost, and in a way where it's it's just. And people have been talking about the hockey family, how it's affected, and it's a true thing, because that's the thing. These kids, we're doing, we're just trying to live their dreams. Everybody has dreams, and it's such a special thing to actually be putting foot to pavement and moving forward to try and to actually get to them, and not just thinking about them in your head. And that's what these kids are doing. And when you're playing hockey and you're moving toward your dream, and it's like, like the bumps and the bruises and the pain and the soreness, like that's all real. And like you go, in the like the travel times, and like the mental energy you put out, the physical, like that's all real. And so like you're going through that with people, and like even people that aren't in that room, in different cities and provinces and countries and parts of the world, it's like that everything that comes with hockey, the pain, the soreness, the it doesn't change where it doesn't change in different cities and countries and parts of the world. It's like it's all the same. You're all going through the same thing. So that's why it's such a close that's why it is a family, because like when you're when you meet a fellow hockey player from another city or something, you've gone through the same things, and you've sat on those buses for those road trips, and you've taken those trips, and you've had those fellowship times on the buses and stuff, and how much that meant to you. And that's why it hurts so much more. It's like people that have been part of the hockey family and the sports family that have taken these bus trips, they know how special they can be, how many amazing positive memories and energy they can bring, and how much how that fellowship time is some of the greatest times of your life. Playing cards, playing games, laughing, joking, talking with your buddies, your family, your brothers. And it's like your head, the coaches are all volunteering their time, and you had people taking care of the stats and play by play, and and team equipment, and making, and it's just there's so much involved, and there's so much good positive energy, and it's just, and when you're it's just, everybody is connected all over the world, and when you feel, when something like this happens, everybody feels it, and it's just it's just, when something so special and so great and so much good energy is violated in such an awful, tragic way, that's why it's affecting so many people, and that's why it's bringing out the best in people, because it's just, we're all connected, and it's just, you just have to, because like, it's just such a tough thing to such a tough thing to talk about, because it's not. When you see, when an accident like this happens, it's like, you're stuck dealing with the fallout, and life goes on, life moves forward. The earth continues to revolve, so it's not like things just stop, and you can, so you're almost forced to move forward. But that's the thing, at the same time you want to move forward, but you don't want. You look back, and it's like, you don't want to leave. Moving forward is almost like accepting, okay, like, it's such a tough thing. You're looking back at people that didn't have things fulfilled in their lives, and they weren't able to do things, and you're looking, you don't want to let go of that. It's like, you don't want to move forward and act like that, and act like that's okay, that those people lost those things, and that's what keeps people from moving forward a lot of the time. It's like, you don't want to. It's like, you don't want to move forward and let people think that you're okay with what happened. It's like, you want to move. It's so tough to find that, be able to get to the point where you can move forward and still be angry about the loss and what happened. And it's so tough, because that anger is a lot of the thing what holds people back from moving forward. So being able to have that anger and at the same time move forward is such a tough place to get to, and it's it's almost impossible for some people to get to. But it's just, it's that's why it's just so tough. And and then when people move forward, it's like, when you have happy emotions, and you have, when you have laughter, you almost feel like you're almost violating what happened, and you're almost like, it's, you almost feel like it's an insult, to people. But you think about it, all of those souls that unfortunately passed away, they would, I guarantee they would push as many people back to Earth and to survive as possible. If the choice was there, I'm sure any one of the survivors would, fall on the grenade and let everybody else have survived and go back. But unfortunately, that's not a choice that's given to any of us. So, and all those souls would not want us to not experience happiness and positivity and emotions, because that's the thing, where they are, it's where they are, it's not such a big deal, the loss that occurred. They are now, their consciousness is back in their souls, and I believe that victims of tragedy here on Earth are given special gifts when they get to heaven, because their lives were cut short for something that they had no chance and no part in. Their life went completely so many things in their life went unfulfilled because of something they had no control over. So I believe victims of tragedy get something special by the Lord. But that's the thing, where they are, it's like they look back on us, and it's almost like, they're feeling sorry for us, because they see that we're in this physical body still, where they're, in their soul, they have, they're, with the Lord in paradise, and, it's just, it's, they have, it's it's tough for us here. We're living in our physical bodies, so it's, can't really see beyond the forest, but for the souls that have passed on, they are living in this vast, unending universe. So it's like they're almost looking back at us. It's like, so don't worry about it. Like, we'll be okay. We'll help. We'll be with you until you get here. It's okay. So it's, I just don't. Really, it's not. Don't have to feel bad about being happy, being laughter. It doesn't. It's not. It's not. It's not lessening anything that happened. It's. It's just. It's just. It's what. the best thing that possibly could come out of it, and it's like I know the people that we're mourning wouldn't want us to not experience the best parts of life, and it's going to take time. It's not just like, okay, it's not just a switch that flips and says, okay, well, now I can be happy, and now I can laugh. It's like, it's just go through your grieving process, go through your mourning process. But if you find yourself in a situation where you can laugh, or you can smile, or you can have happiness or good emotions, don't fight it, don't bury it, don't run from it, embrace it, and allow it to go. And because I guarantee that the people that passed on, they're using all the energy they can to give us happiness, to give us laughter, to give us positive emotions. So they're trying to push this energy into us. So don't push it away, don't hide it, don't block it. It is a celebration of them to bring happy emotions and to bring positive energy out of this. Even though there's so much awfulness and so much negativity, and you think, when you look at it, you think, how could you ever use the term positivity or anything like that over a tragic event like this? But it's just so tough for everybody, and I just really want people to know that it's not, you don't have to feel bad, or you don't have to feel anything negative about being happy or laughter or anything like that. But because that is what the people that lost their lives would want. So, and it's for this, and then for the people that survived, it's that's there's even more mental kind of anguish added on. Like, why you can start to get into that, why me, and why not, or why not this, or just it's just it's just all the negative thoughts that are coming from a negative place, and they're natural for anybody in that situation, but it's just there's just don't feel bad about surviving. Everybody is. I'm having trouble finding the words. I don't want to say, I don't want to put things wrong, or have it interpreted the wrong way, or it's just, I'm really trying to, just want to be as sensitive as possible and not say the wrong thing. But it's just, nobody would not want you to survive, so I just want to make sure the survivors, I get, it's just, it is an absolute blessing and a miracle that from looking at the accident, that anybody was able to walk away. So it's just, it's the people that passed on. I guarantee that they would want as many people to walk away from that as possible. And so it's just, there's so much tough things to deal with, coming out of a situation in an event like this. And it's, there's the mental aspect of it is, and the emotional aspect is so tough, because because of those emotions where you almost feel guilty in some situations surviving, or even not just people that surviving, even parents or people that were around the team. It's like, what if I had done this, what if I had done that? It's like you'll drive yourself mad and crazy by doing that. And it's just, you have to just put those thoughts, you have to push out, and just focus on celebrating and remembering their life, and trying to spread that out, spread their life and their energy out to as many other people as possible. Now it's now the legacy of these, the people that passed on, is going to be through everybody that they've touched with this story. And there's lots of money being donated, thank God, with so many generous people. And this money is going to be put to so many good uses, to help the families, to put scholarships in place, to help this money is going to help people live their dream. It's going to help kids that maybe wouldn't have a chance at hockey have a chance. Excuse me. It's going to help, hopefully people that are with injuries and stuff, as this money goes to helping, go to trying to help, some of the survivors that are seriously injured, putting the money towards that. It's going to help, it's going to help people, maybe it's going to help maybe try and people to be safer, maybe take a look at, intersections at highways, or, just even anywhere, just take a better look at things to say, okay, well, if this situation were to happen, this is a very big danger. So if we address this, then we could really, take the danger out of it. So, it's going to be, even though, unfortunately, the 15 lives lost, there's so much unfulfilled in it. It's, it doesn't end there. It's, even though, like, it goes on, and their energy goes on, and that's through us, and through the people that help remember them, and to help spread out their energy as far and as wide as possible. And that's with the fundraising, and with all the memorials, and how this has brought everybody together, and it's created conversations, and it's created moments of fellowship for people, even in a horrible tragedy. Their legacy will go on, and they will still fulfill great things in life. It's just going to be through all of us, and through everybody that they help, and through everybody that the charities and everything help. So it's we're never going to forget this day. We're never going to forget any of the people that passed. We're never going to forget any of the people that survived. We're not going to forget any of the first responders. We're not going to forget the family, the friends, and the strangers affected. We are going to remember them all, and we are going to do everything we can to make their legacies and their memories as big and as bold and bright as possible. And it's I know it's it's awful. It's heartbreaking that these people won't be able to fulfill things in their life on their own. It's not the end. They'll for the next little generation of little kids out there that are playing hockey, if they are the legacy, and they're going to continue. And the generation to generation will be the legacy, and we're not going to forget. We're not going to forget this, and we're not going to just allow the legacies and memories of these people to just fade quietly into the night. We're going to lift it up, and we're going to make it shout out as loud as humanly possible. And I really want to thank and send as much strength, prayers, all the best positive energy I can, that God can take from me and send out to the survivors. I just pray for peace and miracles, and all the best, strongest energy for you, and that you can are able to get just as many miracles that can be delivered. You can get through these health issues to be the best versions of yourselves. And I just pray that as strong as I possibly can. To the first responders that are going to have a lot of mental issues dealing with what they saw and coming out of it. Without you, this could be a lot worse. And your comfort and your love I guarantee went so far for the people that you're able to help. And we'll be there for you for anything you need, and we thank you for everything that you did. And to all to the family and friends and the strangers that have stepped up and helped, and to help people, to comfort people, and to just do absolutely anything and everything they can to help people get through this. And it's just so amazing to see not only people across Saskatchewan, not only across Canada, not only across North America, but across the world, like the hockey community, and not only the hockey family, but even people, excuse me, just good people that have a heart. They're just, it's such a, it was just such an awful tragedy that, it's really, really affected people. And it's just great to see just all of us, just not put aside our differences. Not even the differences aren't even there. It's not even a thing. We're human beings. We're people, and we're helping each other no matter what. So I also want to say a prayer for the driver of the semi-trailer. Can't even imagine what he's going through and will have to go through for the rest of his life. We know this was an accident. He didn't set out to hurt anybody. He didn't mean to hurt anybody, and it's he's gonna have to live with it and just just ask God to send able to grant him some peace. And it was an accident. It didn't mean for it to happen, and it's just it's so tough. It's so tough. I mean. It's if mistakes were made, I mean, you have to make sure that address the mistakes. But at the same time, this is not nobody set out to do this. So I just ask that God to grant the driver peace, and just help him to get through this, because it's gonna be it's just such an awful situation, and I just my heart breaks for everybody involved. So I just ask God to send out as much strong, positive, good energy, and just ask to give as many people peace and miracles as possible. And to end it, I just wanted to show the picture, and just keep the memory going. And on this tragedy keeps. I mean, there's a tragedy keeps getting worse with the horrible. I mean, the awful news of the bodies were misidentified, and so I mean, thank God, there was a miracle in that we're able to take one picture off of this page, and Xavier LaBelle, thank God, was survived, but unfortunately with this tragedy just keeps getting worse. Unfortunately with the miracle, there was we were able to take a picture off of this page, but also unfortunately had to put one on with Parker Tobin was realized that he had passed away. So just wanted to hold this up to kind of show the faces, to make sure that they're remembered, and going forward, as the years go by, when I look back on this video, to make sure see the faces and remember them. And it's just I really wanted to send my strongest love and prayers to to both the families that were involved in the the misidentification. I just can't even imagine, and I just send my strongest love, prayers, and good energy as possible. And I'm thankful that one family was able to get a miracle, and my heart breaks for the Tobin family. So I just it's just such an awful tragedy, and I'm gonna continue donating what I can. I'm gonna keep praying as strongly as I can. I'm gonna do absolutely everything that I can to help people get through this, and to try and minimize some of the effects of this awful tragedy, because it's just so bad. And it's just one of those things where you just like to be able to ask God why, but you just can never understand the why. So before I finish, I just wanted to kind of read off the names of everybody that passed away in the accident. I just want to really put it out that we're not going to forget you. We're going to remember you. And we're going to make sure that your legacies do not end, that your legacies are going to go on forever in the people that you help. And it's these the generations of kids and adults that you've touched with this, and that you will touch going forward with the the help, and that you're going to be able to bring people. It's just because your legacies will go on, and they're not going to end here. So I just wanted to finish and say that for Darcy, for Mark, for Glenn, for Jackson, for Jacob, for Connor, for Tyler, for Adam, for Brody, for Logan Boulay, for Logan Schatz, for Evan, for Steven, for Logan Hunter, for Parker. We'll remember you. We love you. We'll take care of your families. We'll take care of your teammates. We'll take care of your team. We'll take care of all the survivors. We will not forget you. We'll make sure your legacies last long and loud. And I send as much strength, love, good energy, just all the good positive energy I can out to all of you, your family, friends, and strangers, and to everybody around the world that was affected. We'll never forget you. Godspeed, boys. So that'll bring us to the end. And I'm not going to end it the regular way. I'm just going to say much love and God bless to everybody.